welcome you to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and to this wild card weekend matchup. A battle of two divisional rivals in the NFC East, the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. Troy Aikman is coming right up. This is the third time that these two teams have met this season. And if the first two games are any indication, you cannot turn off the television no matter what the score is in the fourth quarter. Big rallies by the visiting teams in each of the first two matchups. Welcome in, Troy. And Troy, let's talk about the Eagles. Clearly the hottest team in the NFC playoff picture, coming in winners of 5 in a row. And Jeff Garcia is a big reason why.
No doubt that Jeff Garcia has been a major factor in why this team has gotten to this point. He has had some help. I mean, the offensive line has been absolutely terrific. Of course, Brian Westbrook, he's been solid all season long, running the football as well as being the team's leading receiver. But, you know, as far as how they've gotten to this point over the last 4 or 5 ball games, this defense has gotten a lot better. They're stopping the run a lot better. And if you look at the last 2 games between the Eagles and the Giants, they've done a terrific job stopping Tiki Barber. And so that's going to be a key again today in this ball game.
Yeah, let's take that point a little further. I mean, if you're going to boil this game down to its most basic elements, you have to believe that the Eagles will say, we want to take Tiki Barber out of this, and we want to see if Eli Manning can stand back there and beat us.
Well, you're right. I mean, there's no doubt that Tiki Barber is a huge part of what the Giants want to do offensively. They're going to try to get him going. Now, if the Eagles are able to slow Tiki Barber down again in this ball game, then Eli Manning is going to obviously have to play well. He comes into this game struggling, but when you look at what he's been able to do against the Eagles, he's played very well. I think when it comes to playoff football, your quarterback has to be a key contributor in order to win football games. I don't think today will be an exception. If the Giants are going to have any opportunity, Eli Manning's got to play better than what he has in recent weeks.
All right, so we look back as Brian Dawkins makes his unique entry onto the playing field. The Texas Instruments DLP Ultimate Picture Cam brought you the Eli Manning to Plexico Burress overtime touchdown from week 2. It looked like this. As well as 3 weeks ago, the Trent Cole interception touchdown to seal the Eagles' win from week 15. You'll see more of these amazing overhead looks throughout tonight's game. DLP, it's amazing. It's the mirrors. It's the kickoff. Coming up next. We need one final word before kickoff. One word from each side. And for that, we go down to our on-field reporters. First, it's Pam Oliver. Hello, Pam.
Hey, Joe. And they want to keep that good feeling. That's what Brian Westbrook told me before the game. He said that'll be our main focus, is to keep that mentality of our backs being against the wall. Jeff Garcia said he just wants to go out there and have fun and play within himself. 2 very important qualities that have made him a hero in this town. Now for more on the New York Giants, let's go over to Chris Myers.
Pam, one of the Giant players told me this morning this was their most subdued week of practice all year. He didn't know whether that was apathy or great focus. Eli Manning said this is the perfect matchup given the Giants' circumstances because he understands the Eagle blitz here in the playoffs. He's confident with some of the good things he's done against them in the past. Jeremy Shockey will play. His ankle will be wrapped. He'll be limited. They will monitor his situation throughout the game. Kevin Gilbride, who is again calling the plays, called Shockey the Michael Strahan of the offense, said we need to feed off his energy and his passion. For more energy and more passion, let's go up to Troy and Joe.
Well, we can definitely cover the passion part. I don't know about the energy. We'll do our best. Chris, it's good to have you with us. Pam, thank you very much. And off we go. The Giants will start this game with a football. That means an early look at Eli Manning, as David Akers will kick it away, and we're glad you're with us on Fox. Sonoris Moss from outside the 10. Averaged just over 15 yards a return last week at Washington. This one's good for 15. Reno Mahe, the first guy there for the Eagles, and it will be a start at their own 28 for Eli Manning and this Giants offense. So much to prove yet again today for Eli Manning, and coming off a the regular season with 24 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Had a huge comeback win here at Philadelphia early in the season, September 17th. And then he and the Giants lost at Giant Stadium 3 weeks ago as the Eagles came back to win it. There was an offside call against the Eagles on that kick. So they add 5 yards to the end of the run back. And the Giants will start out with it at their own 33. Movement by Deal, the left tackle. Something that has plagued the Giants ever since Tom Coughlin took over. A false start.
False start. Number 66, offense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Former guard David Deal, who's now playing out at left tackle.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. He's only making his second start at left tackle. He had been playing left guard, and so he's further removed, obviously, from Eli Manning, and that could be a problem with the crowd noise here at Lincoln Financial Field.
Tiki Barber split out wide to the right of the formation at the top of your screen. Manning goes in the direction of Burris, who outleaps for the catch. And he just went right around the defender, Lito Shepherd, hauled it in for 29 yards, and that's the height advantage and the size difference between Plexico Burris and these cornerbacks.
Well, a couple of things here, Joe. First, the offensive line doing a good job of giving Eli Manning a pocket to step up in, and you're right. I mean, Lito Shepherd was initially in great position to make a play, but Jim Johnson has talked about it all week long. Because of the height of Plexico Burris, it gives him a huge advantage in going up against these two corners.
Scrambling before the snap to get set. Eli setting up a screen for Tiki Barber. And Tiki Barber has a first down, but a penalty flag comes in. Sean O'Hara was out there blocking, and he may have been guilty of a hold on Jeremiah Trotter.
Holding. Number 60, offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So that wipes out a 13-yard catch and run by Tiki Barber.
Yeah, and that was a nice design play there by the New York Giants, but Sean O'Hara right there on the face mask of Jeremiah Trotter is where the penalty occurred. But a little misdirection there on the screen. They pulled out Rich Seibert, the left guard, going to the left, made it look like it was going to be a screen to the left, and then came back with Tiki in the screen to the right. Unfortunately, due to the penalty, it's coming back.
So now the officials will get together.
Buzzer went off. You okay?
You can hear Pete Morelli. I know that he knows his mic is open right now, saying that that buzzer went off. That the referee Morelli has on his belt. But no issue, and so instead of a 13-yard gain and a first down inside the 35, now again the officials get together.
The 14-21.
So they're going to put 24 seconds back on the clock here to 14-21. And eventually we will see this 1st and 11 play.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's disruptive for an offense. One of the things you want to establish early in a game is a little bit of a tempo, getting in and out of the huddle and getting some plays called, and the Giants have not been able to get into that flow so far.
Tiki Barber gets it. His first carry, and Barber with a nice hole. Hits the hole hard and picks up 8. Brian Dawkins on the stop.
Well, and this is what the Giants really want to do. They know that the strength defensively for the Eagles is Jeremiah Trotter inside. They want to get Tiki Barber out on the edges, and you see then the lanes that begin to open up. The Giants feel that if they can get the Eagles running sideline to sideline, Tiki Barber is such a good cutback runner that he will locate the creases and be able to find them and get inside of them.
2nd down and 3. Tiki again about half a yard shy of a first down. Let's look at the defense for the Eagles, a defense that ended the season ranked 15th in the NFL. And up front, as Jeremiah Trotter told us, they started to get more in a rhythm defensively when they started to slow down the running game of the opposition, and that starts with the front four.
You know, and it really started to happen, Joe, the last time these two teams met about 3 weeks ago. Prior to that game, the Eagles had just come off of a game against the Washington Redskins where they gave up 210 yards rushing. Jim Johnson was very frustrated, upset with the play of those guys up front. But since that time, the guys you mentioned have been outstanding.
Jim's crew ended the season on a 3-game stretch where they averaged allowing only 110 rush yards per game. They went through a time where 4 out of 6 games they allowed 200+ rushing yards. And now with a 3rd and less than 1, Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty quarterback, all 285 pounds of him, picked up a first down last week at Washington, is into the game. And Lorenzen just puts his head down and pushes the pile forward. He is the new Michael Vick, ladies and gentlemen. No quarterback can move like Jared Lorenzen.
Well, Michael Vick with power is what he brings to the table. But yeah, last week he got in the game on a short yardage situation, and they wanted to do it because going back to preseason games when he ran the quarterback sneak, he's 285 pounds, and he can move a pile. I mean, as you can see, this guy's not going to be denied. And so whether it's short yardage situations or even goal line situations, expect to see a little bit more of Jared Lorenzen tonight.
Rare is it when you see the quarterback lining up as a bigger body than the center he's getting the ball from. A toss to Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber has shown here on this opening possession that he can get to the edge, pick up yards. He gets 15, and a good start for the Giants on offense.
Yeah, this offensive line's pretty good. Kareem McKenzie here does a good job of kicking out, and then Tiki Barber again is able to get underneath that block, and you see the seam. So far, you know, what the Giants wanted to do from a game plan standpoint, clearly the Eagles have had success slowing Tiki Barber down this year, but get him on the edge, get away from the strength of this defense for Philadelphia, and let him find his spots.
Eli Manning throws, end zone wide open. Plexico Burress, touchdown Giants. And what a start for this offensive unit as Plexico takes a bow down at the same end of the field where he won an overtime game here on the 17th of September.
Well, what an impressive drive for the New York Giants. They get the running game going. Now they come off of that. And just a breakdown in coverage. Lito Shepherd playing outside technique, given the inside route to Plexico Burress, and a ball that still got away from Eli a little bit, but a nice catch by Plexico.
So this crowd, which was all pumped up at the opening kick, watches the Giants take the ball down the field. Eli Manning 3 for 3, 55 yards and a touchdown on the opening possession. Plexico Burress has one, takes a bow, 7-zip, New York. The weather is absolutely perfect here in Philadelphia. It was 70 degrees yesterday as Troy marched in the Mummers Parade. And it's a 7-play, 67-yard drive capped on the touchdown completion from Eli Manning to Plexico Burress. Is this going to go out of bounds? Reno Mahe doesn't want to wait and find out. He picks it up, and the Eagles will start with it at their own 9. Dockery on the stop. Eli through the air. Burress on the other end, and Jeremy Shockey, the emotional leader, all pumped up for New York. Giants' first possession started at their own 33. The Eagles are backed up at their own 9. 7-0 New York. And the handoff is to Westbrook, who is hit initially by Brandon Short, picks up 1. It's easy for us to sit up here and watch a ball roll toward the sideline, but it sure looked like Mahe, had he let it go, might have given his Eagles a better start. They would have gotten it at their own 40 had this ball rolled out of bounds. Kevin Dockery was on Reno pretty quickly. Mahe decided to pick it up, and that's why this drive starts at the 9 and now is just outside the 10. Second down. Fake handoff. They roll Garcia to his right. Garcia overthrows Reggie Brown. So with that, it's 3rd and 9, and this Troy is an offensive line that has been healthy and very good and very productive all season long.
Yeah, I think the health is the real key. I mean, you think back to last year and the problems that they had with the injuries along that offensive line, and a number of guys, Todd Herremans, Jamal Jackson, they got extensive playing time a season ago, and it paid huge dividends for them this year. And so, you know, this year they played well, and as they move into next season, that's going to be one of the real strengths of this football team.
This offense, though, does revolve around Westbrook.
Somebody got up her.
Who's there to block, and Garcia goes down back near his own 3-yard line. A great first effort by this Giants defense. A loss of 7 on the sack by Umenyiora. And it's 3 and out for the Eagles offense.
Well, good job, because they have not been able to get any pressure on the quarterback for quite some time. And so for them to come out here on their first defensive possession on 3rd down to get to Jeff Garcia and put him on the ground has got to give this group up front tremendous confidence.
Not a lot of room for Dirk Johnson. Gets it away and hits a pretty good punt. R.W. McQuarters will haul it in at the 40. Cross midfield, and that's it. But the Giants, who already lead by 7 after an 11-yard return by McQuarters. Good field position at the Eagle 49. 49-yard line of Philadelphia. That's where the Giants will start this drive. Eli Manning 3 for 3. 55 yards, a touchdown throw to the guy on the end, Burris, and 3 carries. 25 yards so far for Tiki Barber, and Deal is guilty again.
False start, number 66, offense, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Yeah, you said it, Joe. I mean, this is the second false start. I mean, he's going up against Trent Cole, who's got tremendous quickness and speed off the corner, and I think that's having as much to do with it as anything, because there's no question that Dave Deal wants to get out of there just as quickly as possible so that he can secure the edge. You know, last week in his first start at left tackle was on the road at Washington, and yet he was not having these problems. I think it's more indicative of Trent Cole.
Fake the handoff, and it's Shockey, who's a little gimpy on that bad ankle. Doesn't look so there. Makes the catch on a knee. Gets up and picks up 8. 2nd down and 7.
You know, Jeremy Shockey unable to play last week in that game, and he was questionable all week as to whether or not he was going to be able to play today. I know that he was very disappointed not being on the field last week. A playoff game now. He's obviously less than 100%, as most players are, but he had a noticeable limp throughout the week. It'll be interesting to see how long he's able to hold up with that ankle.
Looks like it's McKenzie.
Start, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
This has been one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. And for Coughlin, who came in preaching discipline and cutting down on penalties, also a guy who talked about, you know, how the injuries have become a cancer on the Giants team. This is a Giants team that has 5 starters from their opening day lineup on IR right now, and that includes Luke Pettigrew, who was the starting left tackle. Now it's Deal out there. 2nd down and 12 from the Giant 49. Underneath, Manning misses Barber by plenty. 3rd down.
Well, and any time you start seeing the false starts like we're seeing here today, Joe, you think back to the game they had a year ago, you know, there at Seattle with all of the false starts. Of course, Luke Pettigrew, the left tackle who you mentioned was on IR, was responsible for a number of those. But they have had problems. And when you're playing against a good defensive team like Philadelphia, these are the situations, 3rd and long, that you absolutely have to try to avoid. This is when Jim Johnson likes to dial up a lot of his exotic blitz packages.
Just get the play away, and Manning shifts, fires, incomplete. Plexico Burris the closest one to it, and despite the good drive, the Giants were handed great field position here at the Eagle 49 and they end up losing 2 yards on the possession.
Yeah, that's a great job by the Eagles defensively, because you called it, Joe. When the Giants got the ball at midfield, for them not to be able to get a first down and get into a position to at least come away with a field goal, that doesn't happen very often when you get that kind of field position. Nice job defensively for the Eagles.
Nobody is better in the league than Jeff Feagles at downing it inside the 20. Trying to carry it past the 20 is Mahe, and he'll make the 19. That's it. Couple of missed throws by Eli Manning on that last possession. The latest one in the direction of Plexico Burress. I want to see Shockey again. There he is. 7-0 Giants. Couple of big stars on the sideline and on IR for the Eagles. Javon Curse, who was actually hurt against the Giants here on September 17th, and then obviously Donovan McNabb. And I don't know if the average fan remembers how well the Eagles were playing with McNabb at the start of the season. There's a blitz from the Giants, and Garcia trying to drop it down to Westbrook. It's incomplete, and we look at this Giants defense. Forced to 3 and out. First time the Eagles had the ball up front. A couple of rookies. Cofield struggled the last time these two teams met at Giants Stadium. And the linebackers, Antonio Pierce, is playing in his first playoff game in his career. And back in the secondary, it's R.W. McQuarters now for sure, as Corey Webster's been put on IR. 2nd and 10. Hand off to Westbrook. He picks his way and turns not much into a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 6.
You know, what we're seeing right now, Joe, is the Giants, they recognize that they've got some problems. I mean, you talk about what's happened up front and what the Philadelphia Eagles were able to do against them the last time these two teams played, over 160 yards running the football, primarily right between the tackles. But the back end with the secondary, they've had their share of problems as well. They've got to kind of pick their poison as far as what they want to try to stop today. The Giants do. They want to slow down Westbrook as a runner first and foremost.
3rd down and 6 out of the shotgun. Garcia brought down from behind. That was Kiwanuka, the rookie, up his back. A 4-yard pickup short of first down yardage, and another 3 and out for this Giants defense.
Well, good job up front, Fred Robbins and the others, of maintaining their lanes and not really giving Jeff Garcia anywhere to go. They know that Jeff Garcia likes to get outside the pocket, create plays. The secondary doing a good job of staying with their receivers. Again, another good defensive possession there for the New York Giants.
Dirk Johnson to punt it. Low, ugly punt, and it bounces backward. Eagles can't get on it before it rolls all the way back to the Giants' 47-yard line. Matthias Kiwanuka almost came up with a strip as he brought down Garcia. Good start for this Giants defense. Giants lead here 7-0. A team that started the season 6-2 stumbled to 2-6 in their final 8 games. And Manning over the last 2 against New Orleans and against Washington hasn't done anything. A 2-yard pickup by Tiki Barber. Last 2 games for Eli, 41%, 175 yards total, and 1 completion over 15 yards. So he comes in a little beaten up confidence-wise, and at least the starting field position's been good for the Giants. They're 1 for 2 in opportunities with the ball.
Yeah, and when you get an opportunity like this with field position, I mean, obviously it's important then as an offense to be able to capitalize.
2nd down and 8. Tiki Barber finds room to run, has a first down, runs into Dawkins, but not before he picked up 10 yards and a Giants first down.
Well, this is really where the Giants had success last time. Watch, Tiki Barber's going to start this way, and then the cutback lane is going to be right through that left side of the offense. Everybody's blocking down. Dave Deal, he gets on his guy, and then that creates the lane. Trent Cole, these defensive ends, they want to get up the field. When they're anticipating pass, they're going to get up the field, try to get pressure on Eli Manning. But when they do that and they don't respect the running game, that's what happens. It creates a huge void there for the cutback.
First down, Giants. Play action to Barber, and Manning down the middle of the field. Burris incomplete. Burris and Dawkins hand checking all the way, and it was Plexico who gave a little extra shove at the end as the ball was coming down.
Well, the Giants here as of late have not been able to create many big plays down the field. They're wanting to create some here tonight. They've got one-on-one matchup, Brian Dawkins and Plexico Burris. Dawkins was in good position, but what you're going to notice, as we've already seen, anytime Eli Manning has one-on-one with Plexico Burris, again, due to his size, he's going to throw it up and give him an opportunity.
6'5", 232 is Plexico. 2nd and 10. Tiki Barber. How ironic is it that in some ways Tiki Barber may hold the future of Tom Coughlin in his hands here tonight? Barber, who has been critical of the coaching of Coughlin in the past after the shutout loss last January at home to Carolina, after a game this season at Jacksonville when he was not used more and in the game plan more, calling him out publicly, saying they were outcoached. And now here's Coughlin hoping to get a chance to finish the 4-year deal he signed. He has a year left. And the way the Giants played in the second half of the season, some wonder if he may be out of a job at the end of this year. That ball's tipped and complete. 4th down.
I'll tell you, it was good protection inside. Darren Howard, he falls off of this. You're going to see him right there, number 90. He's unable to get any pressure on Eli Manning because Kareem McKenzie doing a good job against him, but he was able to then fall off of that block and get a hand on the ball.
So for the second consecutive possession, the Giants are handed great field position and do nothing with it. Fiegel's the best in the league at downing it inside the 20 all season long. Looking for Tyree. How about that? How good is that? Hangs up a beautiful spiral, and like a pass, David Tyree is on the other end of it. Hauls it in. They'll mark it at the 2. A 35-yard perfect punt by Fiegels.
Yeah. Well, I think the Giants are wondering why Tyree hasn't made more plays like that as a wide receiver. That's not easy to do. That was great execution. First of all, a great punt by Jeff Fiegels, but a nice job of Tyree, who is an excellent special teams player.
It was a tighter spiral than he gets sometimes.
You may be right.
So Fiegels does his thing. The overall gross punting numbers for Fiegels aren't that great. But that is an art that is lost in today's game. A punter that actually just doesn't boom it through the back of the end zone is a weapon. And so the Eagles, who have had 2 possessions and who don't have a first down, start at their own 2. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Play action. Garcia with plenty of time, and Westbrook in the middle of the defense hauls it in and picks up 6. Jabril Wilson on the stop for the Giants. The Eagles started this season with a 4-1 record. They lost 5 of 6, and during that time Donovan McNabb went down, blew out his knee November 19th. Eagles lost that game. Garcia took over. They were blown out at Indianapolis in Garcia's first start, and Troy, since then Garcia's been as good as anybody, and they've won 5 straight.
Well, you know, they didn't look great against Carolina, but they won, and then they beat Washington and then the Giants. But I really felt it was that game against Dallas that really got this team going.
2nd down and 4. Buckhalter gets it for the first time. Gain of 2, and let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, as you noted, Donovan McNabb is down on the sideline, and he is trying to help his offensive teammates any way he can. While the offense was on the bench, McNabb was going over some of the pictures, looking for some clues to the offense's slow start. Trouble was Garcia needed them too. He had to tap Donovan on the shoulder and ask him to hand them over. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. Well, McNabb, it's got to be an odd sensation for him to stand there and watch as Garcia has become the toast of Philadelphia. And the Eagles are the hottest team in the NFC. It's going to be 5 yards against the Eagles, and I believe Reggie Brown.
Well, I tell you, the Eagles just have not looked sharp.
Number 86, offense. 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
I mean, how can that happen right there?
Yeah, they just have not really looked sharp, and you just never know. I mean, this is a veteran team, and think about the Philadelphia Eagles and the number of players they have that have played in playoff games. This is not new to them, but yet they've not come out here today and have played with any type of momentum, at least up to this point. Now, part of that is the fact that all of their offensive snaps have been down here near the goal line.
Arnie Mornhinweg is the play caller for Andy Reid. Garcia steps up and fires and was almost picked off by Sam Madison. He was in front of Dante Stallworth, and the Eagles haven't played like this for a month and a half.
Well, that's a couple throws now that we've seen from Jeff Garcia that could have possibly been intercepted. This one, a great job by Sam Madison driving on the ball. Dante Stallworth, he's got to come back to the football as well and help break that up. But fortunate that Madison didn't intercept that one.
3 possessions, 3 3-and-outs. Dirk Johnson hits a good one. But again, as McQuarters returns it for the Giants, New York will have outstanding field position. 9-yard return, and they will mark McQuarters down at the 46 of the Eagles. Tomorrow, it's the game college football fans have been waiting for as Chris Leak and the Florida Gators take on Heisman Trophy winner Troy Smith and the Ohio State Buckeyes in the first ever Tostitos BCS National Championship game. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific in high definition only on Fox.
I'll tell you, there were some good BCS games this past week.
Oh.
Boise State was about as good as it gets.
On first down, Manning with time throws at the feet of Jim Finn, his fullback.
One of the things with Eli Manning that has come under criticism this season is his pocket presence. The line here actually does a pretty good job. Eli sliding around. But, a lot of times you see something like that and you say, gosh, why doesn't he find somebody to throw the football to? I'll tell you, in watching this team for the last several weeks, this receiving core, by and large, does not create a lot of separation for Eli Manning to put the ball in there.
Nice play by Dhani Jones, former Giant, in the backfield, brings down Barber, a loss of 3. And here are the Giants again going backward after good starting field position.
Dhani Jones, he's able to get up in there, and then before Tiki Barber is able to get any type of momentum out on the corner. And that's one of the real keys to stopping Tiki Barber, is you just can't let him get going. If you can get penetration in the backfield and no one able to get on Dhani Jones as a linebacker who's shooting the gap, you can then keep him from being able to pick up yardage.
3rd and 13. Manning way underneath and short of first down yardage. They are going to call that a catch and fumble. Either way, it hops out of bounds, and that was just back to the line of scrimmage at the end of the play. So it's 4th down, and a drive that started at the Eagles 46 ends at the Eagles 49.
Well, it looked like the Giants were expecting blitz. And then you see they got the 2 deep where Plexico Burress was able to work in behind that. It appeared that Eli Manning had already made his mind up. He was going to work that high-low combination to Shockey and then underneath, but he missed an opportunity down the middle, which is where the weakness was of that defense.
2 minutes to go, first quarter, and Fiegels hits it off the side of his foot. Called in by Reno Mahe. They'll mark him out at the 16.
Yeah, and then you go back and you take a look at the route that Jeremy Shockey runs. He's running a corner route, and you can tell he's running as well as he can, and he's gutting this one out. And he's actually running pretty good during the process of his route, but as you can tell, he's in a great deal of pain. And after the play's over, he's got a noticeable limp, whether it's on the sidelines or coming back to the huddle.
Talking about a guy in Shockey who is headed to his 4th Pro Bowl and led this Giants team in receptions during the regular season. 66 catches, 7 touchdowns, and a badly sprained left ankle. From their own 16. Rolling right, Reggie Brown makes makes the catch, and now the Eagles fans hoping that their offense can get on the move. A gain of 9.
Well, I think right now when you look at this game and here in this first quarter, the Eagles have got to feel pretty good about the fact that they're only down 7-0 because of the fact that offensively they've not moved the ball and they've had to punt on their own end of the field, and every time the Giants have had great field position, and yet because the Eagles defense has stiffened up after that first possession, the Giants have been unable to take advantage of it.
Second down and 1. Garcia to Westbrook, first down. First down for Philadelphia. Westbrook, who had a big year running the ball, catching the ball, 77 catches to lead this Philadelphia team, makes the grab, sits down with a fresh set of downs at the Eagle 31.
Well, you can see it right there. Jeff Garcia, he's got such a command of this West Coast offense, going through his reads, knowing exactly where Westbrook was going to be on the check down and picking it up for the first down.
Westbrook carries it. Jabril Wilson drags him down, a gain of 3. Westbrook is to the Eagles what Tiki Barber is to the Giants, and for Brian, his best season. Over 1,900 total yards from scrimmage, rushed for 1,200. First time the Eagles have had a back go for 1,000+ since Staley did it in 2002.
Yeah, and I think one of the real underappreciated guys in the National Football League. He is a terrific football player. Unfortunately, when people start looking at running backs, they want to look at rushing yardage. He's never going to have a ton of yardage, although he did this year. He did pretty well.
2nd and 7, Garcia, and that is bobbled and dropped. First, McQuarters had a shot at it, then Buckhalter, after the tip, had a chance at it. Incomplete. It's 3rd and 7.
Well, that's 2 chances now for this Giants defense. Sam Madison had an opportunity on the previous possession, and then now R.W. McQuarters plays it pretty well. Just unable to make the interception.
R.W. has not cut his hair since 1998. It's hard to find a good stylist, and R.W. is just picky that way.
Well, it's a good look. Why would he want to cut it?
Why would you? 3rd and 7. Garcia in the pocket. This is what he does best. Using his legs, and he has a first down. First down, Philadelphia, as Garcia picks it up. The final play of the first quarter. Avoided a hit by Will Demps. Gets a fresh set of downs for the Eagles. Trying to get on a roll. Back after this, 7-0 New York. There are the stats. First downs. The Eagles just picked up their first 2 of the game on this possession. This is as far away from their own end zone as they've been so far in this game. First down at their own 42. William Joseph or Sean Andrews.
Encroachment. Number 94 defense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Former first-round pick out of Miami, who's never really lived up to the billing that comes with being a first-rounder, and he came across. Andrews didn't move or flinch or do anything. First down and 5 for the Eagles. And you can bet that if Philadelphia starts to put it together, that emotional play and the life that Jeff Garcia brings to this offense will start to show up. Rolling to his right, makes the completion to Dante Stallworth, a yard shy of a first down. 2nd and 1.
You know, Jeff Garcia, he wanted to go out to Dante Stallworth to begin with, and there was pretty good coverage on him, but again, he's just able to buy some time. He really does enjoy getting outside the pocket, and one, it does buy him some time, but it also creates some open lanes for him and allows him to then find the open guy. He went right back to Dante Stallworth and picked up some pretty decent yardage.
Also forces the secondary to cover longer for the Giants as Garcia moves around. Here's Westbrook. Breaks it down inside the 40. Still on his feet. Westbrook. Wow. Touchdown. yards for Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, it's just straight off tackle. I mean, there's a number of guys who had opportunities to make plays on him, but you can tell Brian Westbrook out in space. He's got an ability to make people miss. Does a great job getting it into the end zone.
You asked Westbrook if he was disappointed in not being named as a Pro Bowler this season. He didn't blow it off. He said yes. He has put together his best year in the NFL, and here in the playoffs, he pounds it in to tie the game. The home run hitter for the Eagles just went deep. Brian Westbrook doing his thing. Longest postseason touchdown run for the Eagles in their franchise history. 49 yards to cap a 7-play drive to tie this game at 7. Sonoris Moss on the return for New York. Wrestled down by Hank Baskett after a return of 17 yards back to the touchdown.
Yeah, watch Sean Andrews along with the center Jamal Jackson and the push that they get. Sean Andrews working on Barry Cofield. You see he moved him about 8 yards down the field. But to get a run like this, you've got to have blocking from your wide receivers. Dante Stallworth, Hank Baskett, L.J. Smith, all of those guys doing a great job getting down the field, getting on secondary defenders. And then, of course, Brian Westbrook making a couple of them miss.
First down, New York from their own 22. Tiki Barber brought down by Omar Gaither, rookie linebacker who has started the last 5 games, 6 now in a row. Took over for Matt McCoy, 2nd and 8.
You know, this offensive line, Joe, they've been balanced pretty much ever since Jeff Garcia became the quarterback. Pretty balanced here again today. And there's no one that has enjoyed running the football more than this group. I mean, when you think about it, when you're in pass protection, you're constantly retreating and taking the punishment. Whereas when you're run blocking, you get to go deliver the blows to the defensive line. And that group's been responding for the last 5 weeks.
Blitz from the Eagles. Tiki Barber. Nowhere to go. Lito Shepherd and Considine there to meet him. No gain.
You know, this Eagles defense is just playing with such confidence, and they're flying around, something that they weren't doing during that losing streak. Considine, Lito Shepherd getting in there. And that's one thing about this group. You know, Sean Considine, first of all, when he came in and took over for Michael Lewis, he brought some real toughness to this team. A little bit better cover guy, but he's also played a key role in run defense. But these corners, as we just saw with Lito Shepherd, they're not afraid to get in there and mix it up either.
3rd down and 8. And Eli Manning is picked off. Sheldon Brown. Eli Manning is now 1 for his last 7 with this interception. And the Eagles, who have just tied it, take over inside Giant territory. So Eli Manning started the game hot, 3 for his first 3 on that opening drive. Then completed 1 on the next possession. So 4 for 4, now 1 for 7 with an interception. And here are the Eagles with a ball at the Giant 37 in a tie game.
Yeah, and what you're going to see is it's a ball that Eli Manning just should have never tried to fit in.
We'll go back to that replay after this. From Garcia. And around, and they give it to Westbrook, who's out in space. Brian Westbrook, what a first half, to the 15-yard line.
You know, you go back and take a look at the interception. Here's Sean Considine. He's the safety giving help. Therefore, Sheldon Brown knows he can do a trail technique. That's why he's underneath the route. Now, if you go back and you look at what Eli Manning saw, you can see right here, there's absolutely nowhere to fit that ball. That's a pretty good look for our viewers as to what Eli Manning saw when he turned it loose. And why David Tyree was underneath that, I don't know.
blitz from the Giants. A toss to Buckhalter. Picks up 9. Eli Manning, Troy, with 35 interceptions the last 2 years. Second highest total in the NFL to Brett Favre, who leads the way with 47. And he's now watching as the Eagles are knocking on the door trying to take their first lead of this game.
Yeah, and Correll Buckhalter getting his opportunity on that last run. Think back to last week's game against Atlanta. He left the game with an injury, what was believed to be a calf injury. All it was that he had broken up some scar tissue in his knee. And he's actually healthier today than what he's been all season.
2nd and 1. Buckhalter again. And he gets a first down. 1st and goal now for the Eagles from the 4. Andy Reid gave up the play calling duties to Marty Mornhinweg during the bye week with a team 4-4. And Marty has done a nice job of balancing this attack, as you talked about earlier, with Jeff Garcia at the controls.
He has, Joe, and I think that when Donovan McNabb comes back, if they continue to play with the same offensive philosophy of being balanced, I think that this team's going to continue to be a much better team when Donovan McNabb comes back as the quarterback.
Garcia slings it incomplete, broken up by Jabril Wilson. L.J. Smith, the intended receiver, is 2nd and goal.
You know, this Giants defense has not been particularly good in the red zone. In fact, they've been awful. They're the last rated defense in the red zone in the National Football League, but Jabril Wilson does a good job there getting a hand on it.
Second down and goal from the 4.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Rolling right, Garcia looking for somewhere to go, is down just inside the 2. Antonio Pierce on the tackle. 3rd and goal.
You know, they wanted to run the shovel pass underneath to Brian Westbrook. You're going to see him come underneath there with Todd Harriman's leading the way. Jeff Garcia did not feel good about it, and so he's able to create some yardage on his own. But that's the thing that Jeff Garcia does for this offense that a lot of quarterbacks just can't do, that when a play breaks down, he's still able to do something positive. So rather than have it being 3rd and 4 from the 4-yard line, they're right there on the 1-yard line.
A blitz from the Giants. Eagles offensive line picks it up. Garcia buying time, throws incomplete. And a good job by the Giants defense, backed up with a 1st and goal from the 4, and they hold. Field goal unit comes on for the Eagles.
That's a great job by the Giants defensively, a team that has been struggling, stopping people down here in the red zone. To be able to shut down the Eagles offensively and force a field goal is huge.
There's the field goal unit. I guess these days that's important to show. The snapper, the holder, Coy Detmer, is back. Spent 9 years with the Eagles, cut at the end of camp. They just re-signed him leading into this week, and he gets it down for Akers, who hits from 19 yards to put Philadelphia on top. So Garcia with the incompletion. Kevin Gilbride and Eli Manning trying to figure it out. 10-7 Eagles. Well, last night the Seahawks 21-20 winners at home over the Dallas Cowboys in a thriller. So Seattle advances. If the Giants win, they'll play at Chicago next weekend on Sunday. If the Eagles win, they play at New Orleans on Saturday. Meanwhile, in the AFC, New England won today big over the Jets. And they'll play at San Diego. And Indianapolis, despite 3 Peyton Manning interceptions, but able to shut down the running game of Larry Johnson and the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll play at Baltimore next week. Akers with a touchback. And we'll send this down to Chris Myers. Chris.
Joe, on the sideline, Eli Manning, after that previous series ended in an interception, got an earful from play caller and quarterback coach Kevin Gilbride, and then Eli, angered with himself, walked away, and nobody came up to him until Jeremy Shockey, of all people, wandered over from Gilbride to Eli and said, hey, don't worry about it, we'll be okay. Gilbride said they need the passion and energy, remember, of Eli, I should say of Jeremy Shockey. Well, he's showing some compassion here with Eli in a tough spot.
Let's see how Manning responds as the Giants start at their own 20 down 3. Tiki Barber getting to the edge. Tiki Barber showing off his good speed. Forced out of bounds by Considine after a gain of about 9.5.
Well, you take a look at Kareem McKenzie. Actually, it's Chris Snee who's pulling out to his left, and then he gets in. Chris Snee, that's one of the things that he does an awfully good job of, is pulling, and he's actually their best puller, and so they utilize that skill of his an awful lot. One of the toughest guys on this offensive line.
Second down and a short one. Tiki Barber to the edge again. Trotter can't get to him before Barber picks up a first down. There's the matchup. Jeremiah Trotter and Tiki Barber. They have held down, the Eagles have, with a lot of help from Trotter, held down Barber this season at Philadelphia in September. 21 carries, 51 yards, and really didn't get anything done until late in the game and in the overtime. And then 3 weeks ago, 19 carries, 75 yards. Off to a better start tonight. Already 50 yards for Barber. Manning throws to Shockey. And it's Shockey losing his helmet and picking up the first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that doesn't get this team going, I don't know what will. Jeremy Shockey making a nice catch and then turning it up to pick up some extra yardage. The helmet came off. A lot of times when that happens, you're going to see a player go down and try to protect themselves. Watch this. Helmet comes off there, and Shockey's still going and looking for contact.
He is a beauty.
And he likes it, too.
No doubt the emotional leader on the offense.
Well, got a few teeth knocked loose.
Under 8 to play in the half. Manning throws to the sideline. Vasanti Shenko, who's the backup to Shockey, makes the catch. Good for 3. You and I were just talking about that very thing before the game. A little blood in the nose of Jeremy Shockey. How a helmet just slides off somebody's head in that situation. It comes off. Hair flopping around in the breeze. He's hunting somebody up for contact and picking up 11. And somehow trying to light a spark under this offense, which started strong, but hasn't done anything since. 2nd and 7. Tiki Barber gets flipped just shy of midfield. Picked up 5 yards. 3rd and short coming up. Back to that Shockey play.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he brings. I mean, he's obviously, it's well said, he's emotional, he's fiery, he's competitive. And it's hard for him to control all that, nor would you want him to. I think when you look at this team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, he is the one guy who really gets out there, and you can tell loves to compete and loves to show people that he likes to compete.
Sheldon Brown made that last stop on Tiki Barber. Now he's banged up. A blitz from the Eagles. Giants pick it up, and there's Shockey with a first down. Jeremy Shockey inside the Eagle 45 to the 44.
Well, this offensive line, you're going to see they bring pressure up inside, and Tiki Barber gets in there, probably gets away with a little bit of a hold there on Omar Gaither, but Eli Manning, unlike in previous games, he didn't retreat. He hung in there and delivered a pretty good ball there to Jeremy Shockey for the first down.
Rod Hood, an extra defensive back, comes onto the field late. He's across from Tim Carter. The top of your screen, first down Giants. Another blitz from the Eagles, and Barber runs right through it. Tiki Barber busts free. Tiki Barber down the sideline inside the 5. Westbrook on one side, Tiki Barber on the other.
Well, you're going to see here Sean Considine's coming on the blitz, and you're going to see Jim Finn come up on the block, and that's what sprung Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber is extremely comfortable with Jim Finn lead blocking for him, and for obvious reasons. Anytime you can create a hole like that and give Tiki Barber an opportunity to get on the corner. Just an outstanding play there for the New York Giants.
Tim Carter did a good job blocking downfield as well. They still check on Sheldon Brown. 41 yards for Tiki Barber. And the Giants take a timeout. First and goal from the 4 now for the Giants. Trying to bang it in and regain the lead. Tiki Barber is already up to 95 yards here in the first half. 4 carries for 56 yards on this drive alone. And for the Giants, over the last 5 games, only 4 touchdowns in 9 possessions with goal to go. First and goal from the 4, and this one is off Barber and then off the face of Omar Gaither.
You know, originally they had Brandon Jacobs on the field. At the last minute, they took him out of the game, brought Tiki Barber in. I thought maybe the reason they were doing that is because they were going to throw the football. Tiki Barber's so good in protection. But when you're inside the 5-yard line, to me, if you have any confidence in your running game whatsoever, run the ball down here, at least on first down. Think back to the last game between these two teams. From first and goal, the Giants failed to score a touchdown on both of those possessions.
Now they hand to Tiki Barber. Tries to get near the 2. And it'll be 3rd and goal.
And I think right now, however you're going to approach 3rd down depends on what you're going to do if you don't make it on 4th down. If the Giants say we're going to go for a touchdown, assuming we pick up some yardage here on 4th down, then I would say it's 2-down territory, run the football on both of these downs.
10th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Corner of the end zone, incomplete. Shockey, the intended receiver, and Sheldon Brown, who was dinged on a tackle of Tiki Barber, back in to make the play, and now it's the Philly defense that holds.
Yeah, it's just demoralizing when you get down into this situation and then you're just unable to come away with a touchdown. That's something that has plagued this Giants team for quite some time. Not a lot of separation there amongst the receivers. You know, Sheldon Brown, it looked like he knew what was coming out to him with Jeremy Shockey the entire time playing outside leverage.
20-yard try now from Feely, and he ties it at 10. And it just looks like, whether it's Huffnagel calling the plays, Troy, for the Giants, or now Kevin Gilbride, they're not sure anymore what they want to do in tight going in for a touchdown.
You know, I think one of the biggest problems I've always felt that the teams that have the most success when they get down, especially, you know, inside the 10-yard line, are the teams that can run the football. And the passing lanes become so tight down in that area. And the Giants, again, going back to that game 3 weeks ago, they tried running the ball on first down, failed to do much with it, didn't get much there on second down. I think that's been one of the problems so far for the Giants. It's just been their inability to really move people down there inside the 10, in this case inside the 5.
I want to ask you what we've seen so far. You saw the fast start by the Giants. The Giants got a good start defensively, then they started to bend a little bit, and we saw the long run for the touchdown by Westbrook. It's a pretty evenly played first half here on both sides, and even the scoreboard indicates it, the 10-10 game.
It's been a game of momentum shifts so far, and I think the thing that you've got to feel good about, you know, really for both teams anyway, is the way that their defenses have responded when they've had to.
There's Westbrook, who has the touchdown for Philadelphia, and then 2 chip shot field goals. The first touchdown belonged to Plexico Burress. Reno Mahe from about a yard deep in the end zone. They're going to give him forward progress out to the 20. Next week, we'll have playoff football for you. Division playoff weekend here on Fox. And we're still obviously awaiting what the matchups will be. It depends on this game. We do know this: if the Eagles win, they will be at the New Orleans Saints. If the Giants win, with their standing as the number 6 seed, they'll play at the number 1 seed Chicago Bears. Somehow an injury depleted Seattle Seahawk team. A real credit to the coaching abilities of Mike Holmgren and staff. The winners last night over Dallas. That is Reggie Brown. And that is a first down catch and run of 14 yards for Philadelphia.
Now, Reggie Brown has been a player for them who's had somewhat of an up and down season. He struggled earlier in the year, had a number of drops, but towards the second half of the year he began to show some real signs. And it's interesting in talking to this coaching staff, a young player, but by far the hardest working guy on the team, and they've seen the progress as a result.
On first down, handoff is to Buckhalter. Picked up 2. Antonio Pierce on the stop, and look at the offensive leaders for Philadelphia. Just 5 for 11 for Garcia, who was booed during his first start here at home against Carolina. And that was a game that was basically saved by an interception on the part of Lito Shepherd in the Philadelphia end zone with 24 seconds left to preserve a 27-24 win over the Panthers, and a 6-6 record was the result. Garcia gets rid of it, completes to L.J. Smith, and Smith has a first down for Philadelphia and a flag at the end of the play. And now more flags as these two teams start to knock each other around. Saw the thumb motion by one of the officials. You wonder if somebody's going to get ejected from this game.
Well, I saw towards the end, I don't know what drew the initial flag, but there were a number of flags that were thrown on Jon Runyan, who took a shot after the play was long over.
There are 6 flags laying down on the field right now, and there's the extra shot at the end. That's the flag, the initial one that started it, and then Runyan adds to it by putting Sam Madison on his back. And Runyan takes a shot from Cofield,
who took the shot first from Runyan.
So it's going to take a minute to figure out exactly how this is going to shake out, but you wonder if the Eagles are going to have Jon Runyan for the rest of this game.
There are fouls on both teams. Personal foul, number 98, defense. Personal foul, 69, offense. The penalties will offset the result of the play. First down.
So they offset the penalties. Runyan stays in the game. He got 2 cheap shots in. And really, in the end, nothing happens to hurt the Eagles on that play.
Yeah, and I think something should have, because Jon Runyan was the guy who came in initially and took the late hit.
This is the second one.
That's the second one before the Giants had done anything. They got the number wrong. It was on 96, Barry Cofield, not Fred Robbins. But it was a well-executed play to even pick up the first down by L.J. Smith, but something doesn't quite seem right that the Eagles weren't penalized for that.
They got the first down. The foul's offset. First down at their own 45, and Buckhalter carries it. I'll tell you, the interior of the defense, really for each side, has stepped up, and any of the running success has been out on the edge, whether it's Buckhalter, Westbrook for the Eagles, or Barber for the Giants.
Just the opposite of the way that it was played out 3 weeks ago, because 3 weeks ago most of Brian Westbrook's yards came right in the middle where Barry Cofield had really struggled. And you're right, he and Fred Robbins have tightened up internally, and now a lot of those yards are coming on the outside.
Westbrook lined up in the slot. Dante Stallworth makes the catch and is brought down right at the marker. And it's enough for a first down for the Eagles. 9 yards for Dante Stallworth with 2:17 and counting left in the half. The Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Well, you know, Garcia came out. He was a little jittery. He was not throwing the ball particularly well. But on this possession, he's getting the ball out quick. And you can tell he's starting to find his rhythm.
That's a wasted timeout. That's not Garcia-like, and a veteran timeout called with 2:02. I mean, who cares? Just let it go down to the 2-minute warning, and you got all 3 of your timeouts if you need them on the other side.
That's right. A timeout that obviously should not have been used.
So now each side has 2 timeouts remaining, and it's first down for the Eagles at the Giants 45. And I think Tom Coughlin, and I think for good reason, I think Tom Coughlin is still hot about the result of that play with Runyon taking 2 cheap shots, one on Cofield and one on Madison, and really just totally getting away with it because Cofield responded to the first shot he took from Runyon. And then on the other side, the timeout called by Garcia and Andy Reid. That's about as much a reaction as you'll see out of Andy Reid anytime.
Well, that's as much reaction as what you'll see from him publicly, certainly during a football game. I think that they see a lot of that within closed doors, but obviously upset with the timeout called there.
So this will take us to the 2-minute warning. It's a carry by Westbrook, who takes it just inside the 42, picked up 4. Second down and 6 when we come back with 1:57 left in the half in Philly. .10 is the score as we approach halftime. 1:57 left. Eli Manning has an interception thrown in this game. Second down and 7 for the Eagles at the Giant 42. And a false start against Philadelphia.
False start, number 84, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
That's 2 false starts on wide receivers. The first one Reggie Brown, this one Hank Baskett. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. Second down and 12 now. That's Westbrook. Garcia, quick setup and throw, and gets it to Reggie Brown. Ridden out of bounds on the play by Jason Bell, a gain of 7.
You know, this is going to be a key third down, you know, here coming up, because if you look back at the Giants in recent games, where they have really struggled is when their offense has been able to mount a drive and go down the field and score points. This time they were able to score and tie the ball game up 10-10. Their defenses seem to have had a lot of letdowns in recent weeks. If they're able to stop the Eagles here, not giving up points, that'll be huge.
Third down and 5. Garcia steps up and throws, and the pass is complete. Somehow through all those Giants jerseys, Reggie Brown is waiting for the catch. And a 13-yard completion, first down.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I don't know how that ball even got through all the defenders that it had to get through in order for Reggie Brown to have a chance to catch this. A good protection up front. And it looked like Will Demps was more interested in just trying to make a tackle as opposed to playing the ball. Will Demps, it looked like had he have seen the ball coming and played the ball, he could have maybe had an interception.
The Eagles are inside David Akers' range for a field goal try. And this one is thrown away by Garcia in the direction of Reggie Brown. 1:08 remaining in the half. And again, each side has 2 timeouts left.
I think this was one that Jeff Garcia was hoping that maybe he'd get a call. He got hit in the front from short and then in the back by Matthias Kiwanuka. That's what he's turning to the referee there. You know, Jeff Garcia, and he will admit to you, he is a very emotional, fiery guy throughout the game. And then you talk to him as we did on Friday, and he's just as docile as they come.
A blitz from the Giants. Eagles pick it up. Garcia steps up, throws. Touchdown, Stallworth. .28 yards from Jeff Garcia, who was 6 for 7 on that drive, and the Eagles are back on top. 7-point game, and you go back to that third down completion to Reggie Brown. Demps not making a play on the ball, but making a play on Brown. The catch leads to this. Garcia for 28 yards to Stallworth.
Yeah, and how about Shawn Andrews? He's able to stymie the blitz, and R.W. McQuarters, again, outside technique. And when you're outside leverage on a wide receiver and you've got no help from the inside, this becomes a very easy throw and catch for the offense. Dante Stallworth running a good route, and Jeff Garcia able to get the ball on him. But again, protection up front. Shawn Andrews doing a great job with the blitz.
Dante Stallworth was a late pickup in a trade with New Orleans at the end of camp. Started off fast with big numbers in an opening win at Houston, and he gets a touchdown here against the Giants.
Yeah, again, you can see the protection that was provided. Shawn Andrews on Brandon Short, him trying to blitz up in the gap and staying with him. And, you know, this offensive line has just been outstanding. I know that Jeff Garcia gets a lot of the attention, as well he should, along with Brian Westbrook, and then, of course, the way this defense has played. But the offensive line has been the group that has set the tempo for the last 6 games for these Philadelphia Eagles.
And remember what happened early on the drive with the unnecessary roughness called against Runyon, but the retaliation by Cofield nullified any penalty against the Eagles, and the drive ended up in the end zone. 7-point Philadelphia lead, and a nice play by Daniels on an 18-yard return by Sonoris Moss. The Giants this season started 6-2. Big win here at Philly early helped them to that record, but finished 2-6 and have Strahan, Arrington, Toomer, Pettigrew all on injured reserve. And last week it was Tiki Barber literally willing this Giants team, with his impending retirement coming up at the end of the season, willing the Giants into the playoffs with 234 rushing yards at Washington.
And he's trying to do it again here tonight, Joe. He's got 96 yards on only 14 carries.
Under a minute to go. Manning throws, and Shockey wasn't looking for it. Jaquay Thomas was out there in coverage. And Manning, with 53 seconds left in the half and 2 timeouts, trying to get the Giants down the field.
And Sheldon Brown, he's coming off the edge, and there's nobody that can block that. And I'm not sure if Eli Manning, you know, you think back to the last game, he said he saw the blitz coming, he got hit, and then that's when Trent Cole got the interception. But it didn't look to me like he knew Sheldon Brown was coming, and you've got to be able to recognize blitzes when you're playing the Eagles.
Handoff out of the shotgun to Tiki Barber, and he is wrapped up by Quentin Michael. 3rd down and long now for the Giants as the clock continues to run. And the Giants don't look like they're in too much of a hurry.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the Eagles wouldn't use a timeout to maybe give themselves another opportunity to come away with some points.
I mean, if you're the Eagles, why not force Manning to try and pick up this 1st down by using a timeout? And now finally the clock is stopped by Philadelphia, but they wasted a lot of time on the clock as they hope to force a punt and get the ball back.
Yeah, it was a good 20 seconds that came off the clock before they finally used the timeout. You know, the Giants, it was pretty obvious. They weren't in any hurry to try to run a 3rd down and long play. They just soon run this thing out and go in at halftime down 7 points.
Well, you think about last week against Washington, that Saturday night game. The Giants trying to run out the clock, could not at the end of the game, and instead of having Eli Manning drop back and trying to pick up a 1st down throwing it, they hand off to Tiki Barber. So then you start to think, well, maybe they're not believing right now that Manning is capable of making the big play and the big throw. And now, down by 7 in a playoff game, they seem willing to let the clock wind down and not have to make Manning throw the ball here with the ball at the Giant 20.
Well, you're always trying to weigh the advantages of being aggressive and then trying to be smart.
And here they are again, handing it off to Brandon Jacobs. And Jacobs can get only to the 25-yard line, and the Eagles will call a timeout, and with 22 seconds left, force a punt.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's a bad call there by the New York Giants. If, 3rd and 11, it's hard to convert that, particularly against the Philadelphia Eagles, who do a pretty good job on 3rd down, and then, of course, they like to bring pressure. I know, thinking back to last year's playoff game with the Giants and Carolina, Eli Manning has said all week long that they were in a close ball game, and then he started trying to force some throws, and then the game got away from him. And he's had some good moments here in this first half. He's had some bad moments. I think the key for him, as well as the rest of this team, is to have learned something from what happened in that last playoff game and not feel like they've got to do too much too early. So a good call there, I think, by the Giants in playing it conservatively.
Interesting to see Tiki Barber walking off the field to the locker room. 22 seconds left. Eagles punts a beauty with Westbrook waiting for it. Their big play back and punt returner, and he does nothing with it. So now with 11 seconds left, no timeouts remaining, the Eagles have it at their own 30. Eagles started out 4-1 and along the way beat Terrell Owens and the Cowboys in T.O.'s return to Philly. And McNabb went down. Garcia took over, and the season ended with a 5-game winning streak. McNabb was injured week 11. A loss to the Colts followed, and then the Eagles have soared from that moment on.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the game tonight, the way they came out, their first 3 possessions weren't real good. They went 3 and out, but since that time, the last 3 possessions that they've had, they've scored on each one of them.
Inside handoff is to Westbrook, and that should do it for the first half here in Philadelphia. The Giants struck first. Took the first possession down the field into the end zone. Touchdown to Burris. But it's the Eagles who have the 7-point halftime lead. Visa Halftime Show coming up right after this. Tiki Barber wondering if this is it here tonight in Philadelphia. Set to retire at the end of the season. For more on the Giants, let's go down to Chris Myers.
Well, first, Tiki Barber did suffer a knee laceration. They took care of it at halftime. He'll be okay in the second half. Tom Coughlin, concerned about Eli Manning, said he didn't play his best football. I told him it's all out on the field. In this second half, we can settle it. Defensively, the big plays killed the Giants. We gambled. He said we had to. That single high coverage. We're going to limit the number of blitzes in the second half. Joe?
All right, Chris, thank you. And the Eagles will start this second half with a football. And after struggling with their first 3 possessions, we really saw more of what Garcia's been doing with his offense for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, they got into a rhythm on the offensive side of the ball. They were able to get some points going. I don't think these Giants, clearly, I mean, they have played well. They've struggled at times, but it's a 7-point ball game. The key right now, I think, is this Giants defense coming out here in the second half and not allowing the Eagles to come away with points.
That's going to be the matchup here at the start of the half, and Jay Feely will kick it away for the Giants with Reno Mahe waiting deep for Philadelphia. Mahe from outside the 5. Across the 25, he will be marked down at the 26, and let's go down to the 4th member of our team, Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, this game is pretty much playing out the way Andy Reid expected between 2 division rivals, though. What he'd like to see is for that run defense to shore up a little bit after giving up over 100 yards rushing to the Giants. He'd also like to see his own team eliminate some of those penalties. I asked him what the second half is probably going to come down to, and he said, creatively enough, Joe, the wire.
Leave it to Andy.
The wire. It took me a second for that to even sink in. Starting with it from their own 26, the Eagles hand to Westbrook. One-on-one with Jabril Wilson, and a penalty flag comes in at the end of the play, as Westbrook was good for 12.
You can see Stallworth, he comes down and makes a huge block here. And that's why Westbrook was able to get on the outside.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Result of play, first down.
A little turn of the helmet But it's the 5-yard face mask foul against Jabril Wilson.
Yeah, and the guy that Dante Stallworth blocked, Jason Bell, he's still on the ground.
We welcome you back. It was a 5-yard face mask penalty at the end of the play. Bell got up and needed help getting off the field. We'll get a report on Jason Bell, an extra defensive back. And now it's a first down for the Eagles at their own 42, up by 7. Westbrook tries the left side, now cuts back and picks up a yard. Chase Blackburn on the stop for the Giants in the category of yards per play. The Giants are averaging 6 yards a carry, but only 4.9 per pass. It has not been a day where both quarterbacks are standing back there letting it fly. And we're getting a lot of what we expected, which is Tiki Barber for the Giants and Brian Westbrook for the Eagles. Westbrook standing on the sideline, might have been banged up on that last carry. 2nd and 9. Blitz from the Giants, and Garcia goes down. Blackburn is there. Chase did not have a sack during the regular season, a loss of 8 and a big play by the second-year free agent out of Akron.
Yeah, initially it looked like they were going to block it up pretty good, but Blackburn, he just fought through it. John Runyon trying to pick him up, but unable to do so, and then Garcia had nowhere to go. But, you know, that's what they've got to do. If they're unable to get pressure with their front four, then they've got to start creating some pressure by bringing linebackers as they did there. The key, however, is that if you bring pressure, you've got to make sure you get home, because otherwise you're really exposing this defensive secondary.
Brings up 3rd down and 17. Garcia with plenty of time and now has nowhere to go with the football. Finds a wide open Hank Baskett, and what a play by Jabril Wilson. He just saved a first down by getting his hand on that pass from Jeff Garcia. It's 4th down.
And if Jeff Garcia had seen it just a little bit earlier, he would have been able to get the ball into Baskett's hands, because he's open here. You see all that space. Nobody went with him. Breakdown in coverage. But as you said, Joe, excellent play there by Jabril Wilson. Garcia just not able to get enough on it to get it over his hand.
Nice snap by Dorenbos, but handled by Johnson, who gets off a great punt. And R.W. McQuarters loses the football, but the Giants able to get back on top of it at their own 10. Giants needed a couple of plays defensively. Got a sack from Blackburn, and this tip by Wilson. Giants have it for the first time, second half, down by 7. Giants defense, Troy, did exactly what you said leading into this second half. Made some plays. Jabril Wilson chased Blackburn and got off the field.
Yeah, there was a nice job on their part, especially considering the role that the Eagles were on in that second quarter and the points they were able to score to start this second half with a stop to give the ball back to their offense. That was big.
Worst starting field position for the Giants in this game, and it's play action from Manning. Nowhere to go with it, so he takes off and picks up 2. Mike Patterson on the stop for Philadelphia, 2nd and 8.
You're going to see Jeremy Shockey right here. He running the route, and there's nobody there. He's open now, but he's ready to turn it loose. Eli Manning is, but Shockey had not gotten his head around looking for the ball, and by the time he did, then Eli was under pressure and had to try to scramble with the ball.
Eli Manning has got to step up and make some plays for this Giants offense. Here on 2nd and 8, a handoff to Tiki Barber. Barber gets it up to just shy of the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for New York.
You know, we talk about Dave Deal, their left tackle, and the job he's doing. Here he's going to pull and block out Darren Howard, kick him out. That gives Tiki Barber some room there, and as you can tell, it doesn't take much really for Tiki Barber to be able to get a little bit of a crease and then pick up some yards. Dave Deal, again, this organization is very lucky to have him. A very versatile guy. He has started at every spot along the offensive line except center.
A light rain starts to fall here in Philadelphia. 3rd down and 5. Manning goes down. Jaquay Thomas. So for whatever the Giants defense did, the Eagles just one-upped them.
Well, Jaquay Thomas is a guy who comes in and spells Trent Cole and Darren Howard, but he's a guy who can really put pressure on the quarterback. He's got great strength, great quickness, and he went right by Kareem McKenzie for the sack.
First Philadelphia sack of the day. Thomas had 6 during the regular season. Fiegels with Mahe waiting for it on the Philadelphia side of midfield. Good return. An excellent field position at the Giant 42. 8-yard return by Reno Mahe. Philly has it up by 7. Jeremy Shockey getting some oxygen over on the sideline. He has been doing all he can. Was open on that last possession. Manning could not get it to him, and after a 3-and-out, the Eagles start with it at the Giants 42. Plenty of room for Garcia, who throws it out of the reach of Dante Stallworth. McWhorter's running with him.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look at that second down play where Shockey was going down the middle, and they had a shot. They had a chance down the field. You know, again, it didn't look like protection held up long enough for Eli to make the throw, but here's Shockey talking to Eli about the route that he had run and the opportunity that they might have had for a play, but you know, not a lot of reaction there from Eli Manning.
He just looks shell-shocked sometimes over on the sideline, and very rare is it when you see any type of reaction. A toss to Westbrook and a loss of a yard. I mean, whether it's happy, mad, frustrated, thrilled, elated, whatever it is, it's that look that you see on the face of Eli Manning throughout the course of a game. And at some point, he's going to have to make a play. When you think back to last year in that playoff loss to Carolina, 10 of 18, 113 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has a touchdown in this game, but also a pick. Seeing the Giants trail by 7. 3rd down and 11. Garcia throws. Jabril Wilson makes the tackle on Basket. And another fine job by this Giants defense. A drive that started Troy on the 42 ends up moving forward, what, 5 yards? Yeah, that's good work.
That's a great job. There's no doubt about it. I mean, think back to that first half and the field position that the New York Giants had and the job the Philadelphia defense did in not allowing any points. And now the Giants are able to return the favor and stop them. Great job by this defense.
Punt is downed at the 1. Greg Lewis was down there. Joselio Hansen tapped it back, and now they're saying it's the Eagles' ball. Coughlin wants to know why, and evidently it was touched by the Giants, and it belongs to the Eagles. There's Hansen. Joselio Hansen touched it first. The ball's dead.
The ball's dead. That's right.
They're going to have to get together, and I would imagine that call will be reversed. But the ball was touched by Joselio Hansen, 22 for the Eagles. And the officials trying to get it straight.
Yeah, it's an illegal touch is what it is, Joe. And so once Joselio Hansen touched the ball, you know, now if you're the Giants, you can try to recover it.
During the kick, the ball was illegally touched by a member of the kicking team. By rule, the ball be placed at the spot of the illegal touch. First down, New York Giants at the 1-yard line.
So well explained by Pete Morelli, and they do indeed overturn their call. Coughlin, his heart rate can return to reasonably normal. Giants have it down 7. Starting at their own 1. What's it going to be for the Giants down by 7? 9:26 to go, 3rd quarter, and how confident are the Giants and Eli Manning having it in his hands, backed up near his own end zone. A hand off to Tiki Barber, trying to buy a little breathing room, and he's out across the 2. first, R.W. McQuarters, who was the one that got his hand in there after the illegal touch, and he's over there saying, it doesn't matter that I touched it. And then Shockey, who's as active on the field as he is off the field, takes the earphone off the left ear of Coughlin and says, don't worry, coach, it's our ball.
There's not many players that can get away with that one. You know, Shockey, he's going to get hurt whether you want to hear him or not. He's going to make sure. He's got to remove a headset. By gosh, he's going to do it.
2nd and 8. Tiki Barber is over 100 yards on the day. He is out to the 6, and it will be 3rd down and 5 now, and we'll see how the Giants want to play it.
Yeah, and I think they've got to play it aggressively, and they've got to try to pick up a 1st down right here. They've done a good job running the ball on 1st and 2nd down, and buying Eli Manning now a little room to maneuver back there within the pocket. But you can't continually rely on this defense being able to stop the Eagles when they get good field position. It's a big 3rd down right now for this Giants offense.
Manning sidesteps trouble and then comes underneath to Finn, and Jim Finn won't get it. About 1.5 yards shy of a 1st down. Omar Gaither was there, the rookie for the Eagles, and it's 3 and out for the Giants.
You know, it was good pocket presence there by Eli Manning, sliding out to his left. And then Jim Finn probably was just not quite sure exactly where the stakes were in picking up the 1st down. Initially, Eli wanted to go up the sideline to Plexico Burris. But to complete a pass when you've got time to move past the 1st down wasn't a very good job.
Good punt by Feagles. It's Westbrook waiting deep for it from outside his own 35. Penalty flag comes in. This will be against the Eagles, it looks like, as Westbrook breaks it down the sideline. He's into the end zone, but it looked like the Eagles committed a block in the back. And there is a flag down on the field.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 50, receiving team, 10-yard penalty. Result of play, 1st down.
That's the rookie Torrance Daniels. And it erases a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. There's the play by Daniels on Lance Legree. Still a 7-point game. Here's the block in the back, committed on Legree by Torrance Daniels. It's only the 4th Eagle penalty, but it erases a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. And here's a throw for Stallworth. Incomplete with McQuarters in good position. 2nd and 10. You know, there are a lot of people who said coming in, yeah, you can talk about Eli Manning and the way he's played the last couple of weeks down the stretch, or even in the 2nd half in general for the Giants, but it's the defense that could be what kills New York in this game against the Eagles. And for the most part, they played pretty well.
I agree, Joe. I mean, they've given up some rushing yards, but that in and of itself, you know, isn't really going to kill you. I mean, I think that they have stepped up and made plays at key moments in this ball game.
Here's Westbrook, who's brought down from behind by Kiwanuka. A gain of 2.
I mean, if they're able to make a stop here and force another punt, the Giants offensively have to be able to get something going, because we know that the Giants defensively have some holes. Their secondary has been torched by teams that have thrown the football against them. The Eagles have had success running the football. You don't know how long they're going to be able to hold up, giving the ball back to their offense. At some point here real soon, the Giants offensively are going to have to do something of their own.
First time Westbrook's been at the century mark in the postseason as Garcia throws. Sideline. It is caught for the 1st down. Reggie Brown survived the hit from Bell and picks up 9.
Just a good play there by Reggie Brown, being able to haul that one in. Here he is at the top. And he just runs an out route. You know, I'm surprised. You know, Jason Bell is a safety, but he's been playing corner because of the injury to Kevin Dockery. Kevin Dockery is also playing at times tonight. But you could see Jason Bell playing soft and really giving them pretty much an easy run there for the first down.
Giants deactivated Frank Walker before the game. Dockery's banged up. They put Corey Webster on IR. Here's Reggie Brown, who gets around Emmons, and Brown has a first down.
You know, Carlos Emmons is in a great position to make a play. The problem is that he doesn't turn it back inside. You've got to get to the outside. If he does not let Reggie Brown to the outside, then he's got help from Antonio Pierce to make the play. He did a great job of staying home. That's what you're supposed to do. But you got to turn it back inside.
Week after week, it's the diversity of the play calling and the different ways that the Eagles come at you that is impressive as they've put together the 5-game winning streak. Here's Buckhalter, and Buckhalter goes nowhere, may have lost half a yard. Barry Cofield on the stop for the Giants. Well, I know Troy Aikman can't wait for the premiere of 24, and it is right around the corner. Next Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Don't miss the explosive 2-night, 4-hour season premiere of 24. Jack is back, and a new day begins next Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's a great show.
That is a great show. And it will consume your life and world.
Boy, won't it?
When you get hooked. Garcia on second down. Nowhere to go with it. Now throws and completes. How good is that? Reggie Brown on the catch, and that is all Garcia. There's no way the secondary can stay with receivers that long, and Garcia buys enough time to find a wide open receiver.
That's right. And Garcia at this point was wanting to go left. It was a go route. He's trying to get on top of R.W. McQuarters, but as he looks back to see if the ball is going to be in the air, he sees Garcia scrambling to his side. So doing the right thing, he comes back down the sideline and gives Garcia a place to go with the ball.
Reggie Brown putting together a nice game. First down, Garcia buys time within the pocket, throws incomplete, and was hit as he let it go, and Human Ura is hurt. Osi Umenyiora, who was banged up during the course of the season, had 6 sacks after 14 and a half a year ago. Down in pain. The training staff will look at him for the Giants. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles when we come back. Giants have put some pressure on Garcia in this game, but he can buy time both outside of the pocket and then dancing around inside the pocket. And Garcia, and the Eagles lead by 7 at 2nd and 10 here.
You know, at 36 years old, you're not supposed to be able to move around the way that he's been able to, but he hasn't seemed to have lost anything.
That was Owasso who jumped across and was able to get back on his side of the ball in time. Antonio Pierce makes the stop on Buckhalter after a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
You know, we saw it a couple plays ago when Jeff Garcia came out of the pocket, made the big completion there to Reggie Brown. And, you know, in visiting with him as to why he has been able to play so effectively, you know, here over the last 5 weeks. And, you know, he talks about the trust and the confidence that he has in the players around him. And so when he's turning the ball loose, he's really not having to worry about whether the guys are going to be where they're supposed to be. And it's amazing what that'll do for a quarterback's confidence.
Handoff is to Westbrook, brought down at the 30. It's 4th down. The Eagles are within David Akers' field goal range after Westbrook picked up 3. And here comes Akers with his new holder, Koy Detmer.
You know, that was an interesting call there, Joe. If you think back to the last time these two teams played on a similar situation on 3rd down, they handed it to Westbrook and he busted it for a touchdown. But it looked to me like they were going to be pretty content walking away with a field goal opportunity.
48-yard try now by Akers, who's 1 for 1 in this game. High snap. Detmer gets it down, and Akers drills it. So Detmer got his hands up, pulled down the high snap, And then what he does, which is what Akers loves, is he will tilt the ball depending on which way the wind is blowing. And so it's not just get the ball on its end and get the ball up for the kicker. It's actually angling it to help the kicker drive it through the uprights.
Well, and you talk about the confidence that Jeff Garcia has in his receivers. I mean, David Akers has the same type of confidence, as we show a shot of David Akers' wife there. You know, she's a nervous wreck. You know, this season has been David Akers' worst season as far as field goal percentage. How much of that has had to do with the injury to Mike Bartram, their long snapper, and then Dirk Johnson, the holder? I'm sure quite a bit of it. But then all of a sudden you bring Koy Detmer back, and in talking with David Akers before the game, you know, he commented it's nice. It's like putting on an old pair of jeans. You know, there's a real comfort level there, having a guy who you've been through so much with.
Saw that shot of Mike Bartram. He will tell you his career is probably over with a disc problem in his neck. Went on IR the end of November, so they needed a new long snapper, John Dornbos, who is a terrific magician.
I was going to say,
we've all been at parties where a guy comes up giving you card tricks and you can't wait to figure out a reason to become an escape artist yourself and get away. Dornbos is terrific.
He's been a pro for 10 years. No telling how much money he's taken from these guys
without them knowing it. 2.5 to play in the third quarter, and it's Sonoris Moss, 23 yards on the return. We look at key plays in this game. Big run for the touchdown by Brian Westbrook, who's had a 100-yard day. An interception by Sheldon Brown, the only interception, and Eli Manning got an earful from Kevin Gilbride on the sideline. And now again, here's Manning with 2.5 to play, trying to somehow light a spark under this offense. Or this offense tries to light a spark under him. Tiki Barber is knocked down, and they are going to give him that extra little burst at the end. It's a 5-yard gain. See, the rain picks up a little bit, and that's what the Giants have done with the ball the last 3 chances.
Yeah, and because of that, you start to feel that the emotion's starting to be sucked out of this team just a little bit, and if they're going to be able to get it back, obviously still a lot of football left to be played, only down 10, but you start to sense the Giants are going to have to start doing something on offense to get that energy back.
2nd down and 5, and Tiki Barber is wrapped up across the 35. They'll mark him down near the 37. 3rd down and short now for the Giants.
And like what is so often the case in a big game, it really comes down oftentimes to what you do on 3rd down. I mean, here you're looking at 3rd down again. And if they're able to convert here on 3rd down, as the Eagles have been able to do, then you get a chance to keep the drive alive and potentially come away with points. But these downs, these 3rd downs are big.
Look at that, 2 for 10. It's 3rd and 2. Quick setup, a pump from Eli Manning, and Manning is going to fall forward. It literally depends on the spot. Right at the marker. And it depends. We may have a measurement, and we will.
It looked like he was trying to get the ball into Jeremy Shockey. Sean Considine, the safety, was on him there, and there was some contact made, and then Shockey trying to stay alive. But Eli hoping that he's able to get just enough to pick up the 1st down. You know, Jeremy Shockey, he was over on the sidelines after this, and you know that ankle appears to really be bothering him.
1st down. 1st down, New York, by half the football, and Eli Manning back in the huddle. But you start charting the progress of Eli Manning as he's playing here in his 3rd year. 2 very poor games, the last 2 games of the season for the Giants, and after a good start to this one, he hasn't done anything through the air. A chance to maybe get something done here down the middle of the field for Burris. And Plexico Burris, that'll be interference. Burris does not have a catch since the initial possession by the Giants. And downfield, Sheldon Brown banged into the body of Burris, not playing the ball.
Yeah, and it's really what the Giants needed to do. Prior to this snap, they had not thrown the ball one time on first down here in this second half.
Number 24, defense, automatic, first down.
Eli trying to get a shot down the field and create the big play. Now, he's got leverage there on Lito Shepherd, but Sheldon Brown actually, again, just misplays the ball. I mean, we've seen that a lot, to where if Sheldon Brown is just able to locate the throw, he intercepts the ball without any problem because it was well underthrown. But instead, the Giants get pass interference.
It's a 47-yard penalty, the Giants' biggest play this half. Rolling out, it's Finn, the fullback. Nice safe throw from Eli Manning, and Finn is out of bounds at the 6.
Jim Finn, I'll tell you, he's such a good player for this team and a reliable guy. He's very consistent week in and week out. He runs the football well in the few opportunities, that he gets. But he's pretty reliable coming out of the backfield and catching the ball.
Yeah, he only ran it 2 times all year, and he's banging his body up inside, trying to open up holes for Tiki Barber. Could be the final play of this third quarter, 2nd and 2. Blitz from the Eagles. Tiki Barber over the right side. Nothing. And that'll do it for the third quarter. It will be 3rd down and a couple when we come back. It's a 20-10 Philadelphia lead. The NFL on Fox will continue after this from your local Fox station. Little Alice in Chains for you as we begin the fourth quarter here in Philadelphia. And a big play, 3rd down and 2 for the Giants, down by 10. Desperately needing a touchdown. Right now just thinking 1st down. And this Giants team has struggled against the Eagles in this area of the field all year. Eagles back out of it. Manning looking for help and throwing behind Sonoris Moss. It's 4th down. Garcia is making plays. Eli Manning is not.
The Eagles showed blitz. As you see these guys here, it looked like they were initially going to come, and then they dropped underneath everything. It looked like if Eli had taken off and made the decision right away that he wanted to run for the 1st down, he might have been able to get it. Now, when you start scrambling out to your left, it is very, very difficult then to try to find a receiver coming in from the right side.
24-yard try by Feely to make it a 7-point game. And he drives it through. A 3rd down and 2. The throw behind Sonoris Moss. Burris thought he was open. We welcome you back to Philadelphia. 14:50 to play in the fourth quarter. It's a 7-point game again as Feely hits from 24. And now hits a line drive kickoff, bouncing into the arms of Reno Mahe, who hesitates, lets his blockers get set, and then is dragged down to 28. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
Joe, the middle part of this field, according to the players, was beat up at the beginning of the game. It's getting worse. Now, usually guys wear a 1/2-inch cleat, but the Giants have changed to a 5/8 cleat, and they can go longer if it continues to get muddy and sloppy in the middle of the field. Now, the outside area, they let the grass grow, and as Jay Feely told me, it's like one of those bad bald guys with a comb over. That's okay, but there may be some slippage. At least it's something the Giants are talking about.
Bad bald guys with a comb over.
For some reason, Donald Trump keeps coming to my mind.
1st down. That's one guy these days you don't want to pick on, evidently, in the media. On 1st down, underneath. That's Tepay, the fullback. First time we've said his name today. Gain of 5.
Yeah. Speaking of comb overs, it's Tepay.
Very nice. Second down, Philadelphia. Garcia has that spark and has that life. He says he does it. He gets emotional, expressive, intense. It's something to get him going. Not just his teammates, but that's how he gets into the flow of the game. Second down and 5, and it's Westbrook. Knocked down by Bell after picking up 3. So third down and short now for Philadelphia.
You know, right now, when you look back on this game for the New York Giants, and you think about the opportunities that they've had once they've gotten into the red zone. You know, they've been in the red zone 3 times and have come away with 1 touchdown. And again, going back to the last game, and some of the things that have hurt this team in recent weeks has been their inability to score touchdowns when they've been down in that area, especially that close to the goal line.
Third down and 2. Handoff, Westbrook. Depends on the spot. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. We'll see where they mark it. And it's a first down for Philadelphia. That's Marty Mornhinweg, former head coach in Detroit. And now, after Andy Reid, to go back a long way, picked him up, added him to the staff. His old offensive coordinator, Brad Childress, now the head coach in Minnesota. Mornhinweg calling the plays for Andy Reid. First down to Philadelphia. They fake the inside handoff, roll out Garcia, who throws out of the reach of Reggie Brown. We look ahead to next week's games. Second down and 10 now for Philadelphia. It's divisional playoff weekend. Seahawks or Eagles at Saints. Seahawks, the Giants at the Bears. We do not know. It depends on the outcome of this game. If it stays as is, it will be the Seahawks at the Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles at the New Orleans Saints.
Well, obviously a wild finish in last night's game between Dallas and Seattle, but what a gutty performance by Seattle, considering the number of injuries that they have on that ball club.
Garcia rolls out again. They've done this a lot in this game, and the pass is incomplete. Jason Bell closed on it, and Reggie Brown, the intended receiver, it never got there.
And you're going to see this blitz here by R.W. McQuarters coming off the edge, and I don't know what he's looking at. I mean, if you go at the quarterback, instead it's like he was just looking to make contact with Correll Buckhalter, and you know, you see it a lot. You know, these defensive backs, especially corners, that aren't really accustomed to blitzing and going after a quarterback. They just automatically assume there's going to be contact, and then that's the end of it, whereas he could have actually made a play on Garcia.
Third down and 10. A blitz coming off the corner from Madison. Eagles pick it up. Garcia is pasted, and the pass incomplete, no flag. Reggie Brown, the intended receiver, and Jason Bell, who's been busy in this game, got over to break it up. The crowd wants a flag. They do not get it.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with the fans on this one. It looked like there was a lot of contact. Jason Bell and Reggie Brown. You know, I think the thing that saved him was that at least he got his head turned around and was looking as if he was trying to make a play on the ball.
Dirk Johnson to punt. McQuarters is waiting for it from inside the 15. And R.W. McQuarters out to the 20. Jeff Garcia on that last throw got pounded. Not a big body, but he just keeps getting up. He and the Eagles lead by 7. Hugs for Umenyiora as he got back to the sideline. Tim Lewis, defensive coordinator, his group has, for the most part, been able to contain what has been a very diverse and hot attack of the Philadelphia Eagles coming in. It's a 7-point game, 20-13. Giants trailing by those 7 points, and they start with a handoff to Tiki Barber. Barber with a gain of 10+. The ball comes out. They'll rule him down, and Tiki picked up 13.
Boy, that's a nice way to start a drive, too. Looked a lot like what they were doing there in that first possession when they started the game. Just get the ball to the outside with Tiki Barber and then let him, you know, pick the crease. A little counter action there with Sean O'Hara leading the way. But to be able to come out on first down and pick up another first down is a nice start.
So they give it to him again. And a nice gain on first down. One thing Tiki Barber, Troy, has been able to do, and he has played over the last 3 years like a Hall of Famer. The question will be, did he do it long enough? And he's at least worthy of being in Hall of Fame consideration talk. Is he has cut down on the fumbles. He was known as a smaller back, then blossomed into a more full game type running back, but he was always known as a fumbler. And look at what he's done under Tom Coughlin in limiting turning the ball over. Handoff here is to Brandon Jacobs, who hasn't been much of a factor in this game. And Jacobs picks up 3. I think that's a dirty yellow flag that's out in the middle of that play.
Holding, number 98, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It was on Mike Patterson there in the middle of that defensive line. You know, and I think the key thing you said there, Joe, as we take a look at this hold on Mike Patterson, there he is. You know, a lot of times those guys will go in, and to keep an offensive lineman from making it up to the second level, they will grab. I didn't really see much there from Patterson. But, you know, when you said under Tom Coughlin with regards to Tiki Barber and how his fumbles have been reduced, that's been key because it was Tom Coughlin who showed him the technique, which has helped so much.
Play action to Jacobs. Manning throws behind Finn a bit, who turns, makes the catch, but picks up only 3 yards.
You know, Joe, it's also under Tom Coughlin. And I know that Tom Coughlin, it seems like regardless of whatever happens around here bad, it seems to get pointed in his direction. But it's also under Tom Coughlin that Tiki Barber has enjoyed the 3 best seasons of his career, too.
Coming off his second best ever. Best season last year. This one he's put up huge numbers again in his walk year. He will retire at the end of the season. Gets it on 2nd and 7. Nice play by Trotter, who got over to make the stop after a gain of 3. And these two are old friends from NFC Eastern Division play, and one of the Eagles is down and can't get up after that last play.
Well, that's right. Trotter, I mean, he's such a downhill linebacker who really likes contact. And in fact, Tiki Barber says it's because of Jeremiah Trotter, at least one of the reasons as to why he's going to retire after this season, because of all the punishment Trotter has dished out over the years.
Lito Shepherd is injured and getting attention. We'll take a break. Lito Shepherd able to get up and walk off the field. Got hit in the back on that last run by Tiki Barber right there, the bottom of your screen. The leg of Jaquay Thomas. And now it's 3rd down and 4 for the Giants. A blitz from the Eagles. Eli Manning finds the open man, Carter. And he's got a first down inside the Eagle 35 to the 34. 14 yards.
Well, this time the Eagles do bring the pressure inside. And Tiki Barber and the rest of them up front doing a good job. Just enough time there for Eli Manning to get the ball out to Tim Carter for a big first down.
The flying tackle by Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
First down, 34-yard line. Handoff, Tiki Barber. He gets knocked forward to the 31. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Joe, Lito Shepherd got up and walked off the field. Then he headed straight to the locker room. Lito Shepherd has a dislocated elbow and will not return. Back to you.
Well, that's big news.
Sorry there, Joe. I got to tell you, Jeremy Shockey's leaving the game right now, but he is in tremendous pain. He's having a hard time even getting up off the ground. He just can't push off of it. And now he's over on the sidelines.
2nd down and 7. The Eagles without Pro Bowler Lito Shepherd. They throw it to Tiki Barber, getting creative. Had a blocker in front of him, and Barber's brought down a yard shy of a first down with 8:21 and counting left in the game.
Well, Tiki Barber obviously running the football well, and now being able to get that ball and get it into a third and short situation. And once again, they bring in the hefty lefty to try to pick this one up or hand it off. But I don't think he's going to be doing any throwing.
3rd down and 1. Doesn't do any throwing, but he does get to call a timeout. 3rd down and 1 when we come back with 7:48 left to play here in Philadelphia. Now you see Eli Manning in the huddle for the Giants. Jeremy Shockey as well. Had trouble just getting up a moment ago, but Lorenzen comes out. Eli Manning back in on 3rd and 1.
A good time for play action, actually.
Instead, they hand to Tiki Barber. And Barber sneaks through for the 1st down. From where the official ran in to mark it, looked like they were not going to give him that extra little burst at the end when he got under the tackle. And there's Barber pleading his case. But they did not give him as much forward progress as it looked like he picked up with this effort right there, but obviously he's past the marker.
Yeah, that's right. And if they don't pick up the 1st down here by measurement, you can bet that Tom Coughlin's going to review this one.
And then you say, is his knee down? It did not look like his knee was down, and they are going to be inches short, and Coughlin's going to challenge the play. The formality of throwing the red flag, and Coughlin will challenge the spot, which, Troy, looking back on last night's game between the Seahawks and the Cowboys, it was a challenge, an official's challenge, the spotting of the ball on a catch made by Witten that basically turned that whole game around.
Yeah, and that one surprised me from last night.
Has challenged a ruling on the field.
You know, when it happened, Joe, I thought that Witten was short of the 1st down, but as we take a look here, I don't think his knee was down either, Joe. I mean, when he lunges, well, his left knee was down. Now it's a matter of where was the ball.
I'm not sure it was even on the ground at that point when he made that last push, but you know, here's the other side of it. Yeah, I think he stays up. Yeah, I don't think his knee's down.
Yeah, that angle there showed that the knee was not on the ground. Right here.
Still in the air, and he does not go down, and by the time he lunges, that should be a 1st down for the Giants if the officiating crew gets this call right. Here's the best look at it. You'll see that that left knee never does go down until he picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a 1st down, but to go back to last night's game, I was shocked that even though I thought that Witten was short of the 1st down when it happened, I didn't see any look that was conclusive in order to determine with any degree of accuracy where the ball should have been placed, but yet that call was overturned, and as you said, turned out to be a huge play in that game.
The next play was the field goal try. Romo could not get the ball up after handling the snap. And then on the end of that play, by the way, he came awfully close to just picking up the 1st down on that scramble, but Babineau made a nice play from the backside to make the tackle. And in essence, after that long run by Alexander on the first play from scrimmage going the other way, wrap up the game for the Seahawks. They're trying to figure out who they're going to play. Depends on who wins this game. And here comes the call with the rain pounding down from Pete Morelli.
After reviewing the play, the runner was not down at the spot. The ball will be placed at the 23.5. 1st down, New York. New York will not be charged with timeout.
So they get the call right, and the Giants get the 1st down with 7.5 to play.
Well, and Tom Coughlin, he can take a breath now, because even though you think you got it right, I mean, you just never know. We've all seen enough games to where you think you have a pretty good look, but it doesn't always get ruled that way.
Remember, prior to that 3rd and 1 play, Lorenzen was in, had to use a timeout. The Giants had lined up in an illegal formation. Lorenzen noticed it, called the timeout, so the Giants have 2 left as they trail by 7. Tenth play of this drive. First and 15.
False start, number 66. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
It's the 3rd of the game on David Deal.
Yeah, boy, those are just killers for an offense when you're struggling somewhat as it is, and then when you're having to take 5-yard penalties and go to 1st and 15. Those are difficult to overcome.
Shockey checks out. Shenko is in. 1st and 15. First and 20. This time it's Snee.
Number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Snee gets his first of the game, and the Giants are going backward after picking up a big first down.
Yeah, this time it's right guard Chris Snee that starts, and sometimes, you know, I don't know that Eli on that play was using any type of hard count, but you just get a little anxious down there. What we've seen is these linebackers starting to act as if they're bringing the blitz, and as an offensive lineman, you know you got to get out of your stance quick. No excuse for jumping, but that is some of the reasoning as to why it's happening.
Manning on 1st and 20 sets up a screen. Penalty flag comes in on the play. Tiki Barber lurches forward. He would be 1.5 yards shy of a first down, but there's a flag back at the 35.
Holding number 76. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
So Snee, Tom Coughlin's son-in-law, goes back-to-back with penalties. A false start, and now a hold.
Boy, that's a shame, too, for these Giants, because it was a good call. You're going to see again right here, number 76. He's latched onto him. Oh. I didn't see anything there.
I didn't either, and it had 0 to do with the play on top of it, which is even more painful for the Giants.
Well, you saw initially the hands underneath the shoulder pads, but that's what offensive linemen do. If it doesn't get extended, it doesn't get called. I thought that was a poor call there.
Giants have to get it to the 13-yard line for a first down. It's 1st and 30. Throwing on the run, too high for Carter. 2nd and 30.
You know, you got Eli Manning here, obviously an extremely important game to this organization, but also to him and his career, his 2nd playoff game, and now he's in a position to try to put a drive together to tie this ball game up, and the guys around him aren't allowing him to do it.
118 yards on the day, but only 57 since the first possession. A blitz from the Eagles. Considine coming. The pass for Burris. Plexico Burris makes the catch. A big one for the Giants. Not just in relation to the first down, but to get back into field goal range for Jay Feely.
Well, what a great job by Eli Manning. He gets criticized for a lot of these types of throws, but it's one that he had to make to give his team an opportunity. But on the back end of that, Plexico Burris, ball's out now. But yet he was able to locate it, come back to the football, which is why he was able to then make the catch. Good coverage there by Sheldon Brown. As you said, at least now they're in field goal range.
3rd down and 12. And they have to use their 2nd timeout on this drive.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe, you get into a game like this and all of a sudden you're having to burn timeouts. Boy, that could be costly.
Trailing by 7, 5.5 to play. 2 timeouts are off the board for the Giants. Lorenzen took one before 3rd and 1, and now before 3rd and 12. The Giants weren't ready. Tuesday, January 16th at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Get ready for the 2-hour season premiere of American Idol. The dream is back, and so are America's best and worst talents. Don't miss the season premiere Tuesday, January 16th at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here, only on Fox. Let's take a look at the all-22 camera, as we call it. There's Tyree on the wrong side of the formation.
Yeah, they're trying to get him lined up. We saw that a little bit earlier. Similar situation, Eli Manning. Even here, he's having to get Jeremy Shockey over to where he needs to be.
Third down and 12. Plexico Burress. The pass was high. Makes a move. Burress, first down, New York.
A great job there by Plexico Burress, because, as you said, Joe, a ball that was high that kept Plexico Burress from making a clean catch on this and get going north and south right away. As you see, it made him hesitate just enough. But then Sean Considine misses the tackle, and that's why they picked up the first down. And then at the end of that, you get the late hit. It looked like it was Darwin Walker there that put the hit on Eli, and he's looking for a flag.
First down, New York. The ball at the 11. Eli Manning over the middle. Touchdown, Burress. And Eli Manning answers the call with the extra point coming. A chance to tie it as Manning overcomes a second down and 30 to get his Giants into the end zone.
How about that? Great job by Eli Manning, hanging in there and making the big throw to Plexico Burress. And then picking up the first down again with Burress and coming back here. You know, he comes off with a little bit of a slow move, trying to make it look like possibly run. And then he shoots to the post for the touchdown.
On a chewed up field with the rain coming down, the extra point. Feely ties it at 20. You know, let's talk for a minute about Eli Manning. Here's a guy who you still have to consider being on the upswing. He just turned 26 this week. However, for the first pick in the draft in 2004, he fizzled down the stretch last year, had a terrible playoff game against Carolina, hadn't done much prior to this drive, getting his team down the field into the end zone. This is an opportunity to make a statement on the part of Eli Manning, because frankly the Giants have expected more, and the guys picked behind him, whether it's Roethlisberger, who's won a Super Bowl, or Phillip Rivers, who's part of maybe the most dangerous team in the NFL, the Chargers, they've passed him by to this point.
But there's been a lot of pressure on him, as there is with any quarterback in this league. I know this, that careers are made by what you do in postseason play. And for him, in that situation, with an opportunity to tie the ball game up, to overcome 2nd and 30 with some key plays, is really large. I mean, and he's been able to do that. I think when you look back over his short career up to this point, the times when he has seemed to play his best football has been the times when it seems like there's the least amount of hope for this football team. And by that I mean at 2nd and 30, who would have thought that they're going to overcome that and be able to tie this game up?
And let's say this, Plexico Burress, who's had an interesting year and from time to time been involved in some controversy for the Giants, stepped up big on that drive. 2 touchdowns on the day. Here's Mahe with a nice return. Out across the 30 to the 33. We are talking about the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Thank you, Jim Mora. 4:57 to play in this game. Tie game in Philadelphia. And we know that 3 teams have moved on this weekend. Seattle, the Colts, and the Patriots. And will it be the Eagles joining them and going on to play at New Orleans next week? Or the Giants finishing out and filling in that last piece of the puzzle, playing at the Bears next weekend?
Well, I know for this game here, Joe, I mean, this cannot possibly have surprised too many people when you think about the games that these 2 teams have had, and the big battles and the close games and the close finishes.
Westbrook breaks free, picks up a first down. Out to the 45-yard line, he gained 11.
Yeah, this is when Philadelphia will go into their, what they call their 4-minute offense, trying to control the clock and take time off the clock. They run the ball to Brian Westbrook off that right side, the strength of this offensive line behind Sean Andrews and John Runyon. And then what you saw of Westbrook there at the end of that play going down in order to keep the clock running.
The question is, did anybody touch him? Westbrook popped up and continued down the sideline as our replay ended, and about 25 yards further down the field, McQuarters was down there with him. And I think the question is, was Westbrook touched? As it is, the play was blown dead, and it's a first down at the 45, but it's worth another look when we get the chance with 4 minutes plus, and here it is. Let's see. It looked like Demps may have gotten a piece of him on his way over the top of him and onto the sideline. Immaterial now as Garcia throws and completes it to the backup tight end Matt Schobel. A gain of 6.
Well, this is important right now for the New York Giants. You know, I talked about it a little bit earlier. One of the areas where they have just seemed to struggle is it appears that whenever their offense does something good to get them back into a game, their defense has a letdown mentally or emotionally, and then they wind up giving a score. Right now, it's important for them to be able to find a way to stop the Philadelphia Eagles.
And stop them quick, because remember, the Giants have only one timeout left. Brought down with a first down, or at least right at the marker. It looks like he has enough, Westbrook. And he does. First down, Philadelphia, with 3 minutes to play.
And this is where it's really nice when you've got a veteran guy at quarterback like Jeff Garcia. You know, they ran the ball there on that first down with Brian Westbrook. They come back on play action with Jeff Garcia, but it's because they trust that he's going to make the right decisions and not do anything dangerous and risk turning the ball over.
Garcia rolling to his right, completed. They'll mark Reggie Brown, who's had a big game, out of bounds after a gain of 7.
Again, they roll him out, get him on the edge. And to Reggie Brown. Reggie Brown has had himself a nice day today. Not bad coverage there by Jason Bell, just not able to get a hand on the ball.
He almost whiffed on the football as it was coming into the chest of Reggie Brown. The season long for David Akers, so you know, is 47 yards. Eagles would have to get it to the 29 or so for a 47-yard try, but they are right within the outer edges of his field goal range as it is right now. Akers' career long is 57. And they're within that right now. But remember, it's raining, it's wet, the field is chewed up here in Philadelphia. And the Eagles can let the game clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. Akers' season long was 47 coming in. He's hit from 48 today. They're getting into that territory right now. 2 minutes left in a 2020 game. Some big players as we await the outcome. 2 minutes left in this game. Tiki Barber could be in his final game in the NFL. Eli Manning, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. Just put together a big drive. And now the Eagles, with Andy Reid watching, with a first down at the Giant 32. It is Westbrook doing his thing, and Westbrook is down to the 20. And the Giants will spend their final timeout.
And the Giants were able to get some pressure in there, but Brian Westbrook, he's just able to bounce it to the outside, and then once he was able to do that, he found the crease. You know, again, Reggie Brown, he's playing well, and all of these wide receivers are doing a good job in the running game blocking downfield.
But the key part of it here is it's a first down. The Giants are out of timeouts. So the Eagles can basically whittle this clock down and then send David Akers out onto the field. It would be a 38-yard try from this point right here. And Akers, who has his holder back, Koy Detmer, typically regarded as one of the best kickers in the NFL. Detmer getting ready.
Yeah, my guess, Joe, is that they're not going to take a knee here, but they're going to continue to run the ball with Westbrook, trust that he won't put it on the ground, and try to get this as close as they can, if not score.
They do just that, and he goes down right at the line of scrimmage. Giants cannot stop the clock. 2nd and 10. Antonio Pierce on that tackle.
You know, it's just very frustrating for this New York Giants team to put themselves in a position to tie this ball game up. And as we talked about, defensively, for the most part, this defense had done a pretty good job today overall. But when it mattered most, here on this last possession, they let Philadelphia drive the ball down here in a position to come away with the game-winning field goal.
2nd down and 10. Westbrook again back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Kiwanuka, the rookie, is there for the stop. It's 3rd down. Play clock is at 30. There's about a 20-second differential, and this is only 3rd down. You wonder if they'll end up calling a timeout, bring the field goal unit on 3rd down in case there's an issue with the snap.
You know, I've never liked that. I know some coaches do. It's not right or it's not wrong. But I prefer to approach it that I'm going to run it down, make it the last play of the game, and trust that my snapper and holder and kicker are going to execute the play and win the game. Now, after what happened last night, you may change your thoughts on that, and maybe Andy has.
Dorenbos is the long snapper. Koy Detmer is back. And holds have been key this year. Don't forget what happened to Cincinnati trying to tie it at Denver. Basically cost them their chance at a playoff spot. And then last night, Tony Romo received the snap from LP Ladouceur, but could not put it up for Martin Gramatica. Couldn't scramble for the 1st down to the touchdown, and the Dallas Cowboys came up a point short up in Seattle. And now from the crafty hands of Dorenbos into the hands of Detmer, and eventually off the foot of Akers. But now, Troy, look at this. They're going to bring Garcia back out and run a play, it looks like, on 3rd down and take the clock down. So the field goal try is the final play.
Yeah, I like that better, because the most time they could come off the clock on a field goal attempt would be 5 seconds. And so there's 16 seconds left then for the kickoff, assuming they make it, which is at least enough time for the Giants to have been given one opportunity to try to throw something down the field. I like this better.
Garcia wants to put it right in the middle of the field, and what we were talking about, the option was to call timeout, bring the field goal unit on 3rd down in case there was a problem with the snap. You get another try at it. Instead, the game clock will be stopped now with 3 seconds remaining, and it's up to the left foot of David Akers to send the Eagles to New Orleans. Garcia got his team down in position with a ton of help from Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, and Jeff Garcia, you know, not a great game by his standards, but the one thing that he did a great job of, as he has the entire time he's been playing, is he protected the football. He did not turn the ball over, which in a game like this was very, very important.
It'll be a 38-yard try for Akers, who's 2 for 2. He's hit from 19 and 48, which, by the way, is the longest he's hit this season. One career postseason game-winning field goal for Akers, who is #1 in Eagle franchise history in the category of field goals made. Is this it for Tiki Barber? Detmer just re-signed, puts it up, and Akers drills it. The Eagles have defeated the Giants. 83-20. Philadelphia wins it. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, we're here with Brian Westbrook, and what a warrior performance by you once again. You stepped up in the leadership department, but you almost willed this team to victory today.
Yeah, the team came out and played hard. You know, man, I wasn't feeling well in the second half, but, you know, my team, they came out and they blocked, defense held them, and we were able to run the ball and run the clock out.
Yeah, I noticed that. What was going on? I saw you getting a lot of oxygen. What was the matter?
I just had some stomach cramps. My stomach just wasn't feeling too well. It's just, you know, it was one of those things, but luckily I was able to fight in there, hang in there with the guys, and we won it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby.
Let's go back up to Joe.
All right, Pam, thank you, and congratulations to Brian Westbrook. Jeff Garcia, David Akers, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Their run continues. They've won 6 straight now, and they just defeated their division rival, the New York Giants. The last play of the game off the left foot of David Akers, 38-yard field goal good, and a 3-point win for Philly. They are off to New Orleans next week. It will be Seattle at Chicago. Dornbos, a long snapper, celebrates. Andy Reid kept this team focused after they lost McNabb, and they've beaten the Giants here in the playoffs. We'll come back and wrap up.